We got to think about how do we support not just access to information, but developing those core skills of reading and writing at the same time. The 2008, I believe, these are statistics. This came directly out of the statistics from the Canada catalog, right? Look at this relationship. The lower your literacy skills, so if you score a 1 on the prose literacy, the document literacy, and the quantitative literacy, your average earning is below $20,000 a year. You score 4 or 5, and you're earning almost double, right? And there's this direct relationship. That same direct relationship doesn't exist when they look at years of schooling instead. It is about what do you know about reading and writing. Is the lower your literacy skills are, the poorer your health outcomes are. The lower your literacy skills are, the less able you are to navigate the system. The lower your literacy skills are, the less likely you are the day that you start feeling kind of weird, getting onto Google and searching to try to read about what the heck might be going on. And what I'm trying to argue here today is it's not okay as technology specialists for us to say, well, my job is to provide access. It's the teacher's job to think about how they're going to use it. We have to think a little bit more deeply than that. Because oftentimes the choices that we are making are limiting what the outcomes might be for that student. Right? So we can think about what are the tools that we can provide that support successful interaction with that text that are most likely to also support learning of the underlying skill. So one of the examples I go back to all the time is if you have somebody who's a lousy speller that you're trying to support them in spelling better, right? We got evidence that says by all means use word prediction because word prediction helps them get better at spelling, right? It helps them get better at decoding, right? Don't just use a spell check. The spell check helps the product be right, right? Don't use a word bank. A word bank helps the product be right, but it doesn't support them in becoming better spellers in the long run. It takes them twice as long to access the curriculum and finish their work. When are we supposed to create the time to be teaching them the core skills? So it's the intersection of those two places that I think is where we need to be heading in AT. Those are the places where, my session this morning on action research, we need to have teachers looking at not just what are the tools that are helping kids survive my class, what are tools that are helping kids learn the content of my class while they're developing these underlying skills of reading and writing or mathematics or whatever your area of interest is. That's the place that we don't have any published big R research helping us understand that right now. 800 3rd through 8th grade struggling readers. About 50% of them have 40% of them have identified disabilities, and the rest of them are students who are 2 and 3 and 4 years below grade level, even though they don't have an identified disability. They're just struggling readers. There were no kids in this group who needed good old-fashioned phonics instruction. In fact, in our 3rd through 8th grade, where we have these 800 kids in that group, there are only 30 out of 800 struggling readers who need traditional phonics instruction. Our schools are doing a good job of teaching kids how to go at and figure out that that word says cat, right? Our kids who are word readers that are getting stuck figuring out how to read catastrophe, not cat. And you can't sound out catastrophe. You got to have a lot of language knowledge to help kids who are 5 years below in their listening comprehension skills. And those groups are the groups that across the board are makes me happy that I'm glad that the PE teachers are helping children make progress, but it would really bum me out if their kids made more progress than somebody who's got a master's degree in reading. And in fact, the children who make the most progress are those who are in groups with the most highly skilled teachers. But all of the children are making progress. So in the data that I've gotten back that I've looked at from 4 of our schools, which is over half of the children, in 2 of the schools, 100% of the kids made a year or more of progress this year. 100% response to intervention among the struggling readers in the school. And in the other school, it was 98%, and in the other one, it was 95%, right? So far, we've identified across these 400 kids, we've identified like 8 kids who we need to figure out something different because it didn't work for them. It's amazing. I mean, it's just really overwhelming.